Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
Thank you for being here. Another fun edition of Deborah Kobylt Live. And we've got that wonderful Christmas music. It really is getting me in the spirit. It's amazing. 10 seconds worth of music and gets you right into the holiday spirit. Anyway, joining me in studio right now, Meredith, thank you so much for being here. Meredith Thomas.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Meredith has done lots and lots out here in Hollywood, but right now you're here also to talk about A Christmas in Royal Fashion, right?
Yes, it premieres on Ion Television on December 16th, and I get to play the villain, which is very exciting. I'm kind of the Grinch Missy character in this one.
Does she look like a villain to you? Because the first thing I did when I saw her, I said, oh my goodness, you look like my friend Vanna White, because you do. You've got a beautiful smile. You have such a sort of pleasant vibe about you. And I guess it's always those kind of people who are playing the villains, huh?
I think I have all of that. Like people, in the years in this town, people were always like, "Oh, you look so commercial. You're so peaches and cream." But I have a little bit of an edge that I think the camera picks up on, and that's great because I get to play characters that are. I always say they're not villains; they just have their priorities maybe not in order.
What a great way to look at it! Can we go to a clip? Okay, great. This is a very, very good way of looking at it.
Nice. Wait. Hold it. There. Hold it. Nice. Okay, hold it. Let's go. I don't want to be late for my lunch.
Yes, Melanie.
This guy is a personal friend of mine. He needs someone like you.
Kristen, you're going to entertain the ambassador and his cronies until I get back.
I don't have any experience with royalty.
You'll be fine.
We're sponsoring our charity holiday fashion festival. I'm not sending our usual ambassador this year. I'm sending you.
Prince Patrick of Edgemont.
Prince?
I heard nothing but great things about you, Melanie.
Melanie, your reputation precedes you.
Wow.
Why would you say
Bad girl.
Yeah.
Bad girl. Your publicist is in the background going, bad girl. How was it doing this film?
It was so fun. I got the script and I knew right away I wanted to play this character. When I read it, it reminded me. I love Working Girl. Was it '80s that Working Girl was out with Sigourney Weaver and Melanie Griffith? So
I don't even remember.
So I thought my character was kind of like the Sigourney Weaver character. She's the boss who's kind of self-centered, not very nice to her assistant, and then the assistant is mistaken for her, and then falls in love with the handsome prince. And in Working Girl, it was actually Harrison Ford, the handsome CEO. But so it was super fun for me to play. I really rallied. Once I saw it, I wanted it.
What I love about Christmas movies, shows, anything, at the end there's always a happy ending. So they're sort of like delightful. I can get lost in them, and I won't even watch them after the fact. I'll watch them when they're on time. There's just something about that routine that I grew up with, and I love watching these shows. So tell me about, it's on Ion Film, right? They do
Ion Television,
Yeah.
I think this is their 10th season actually doing Christmas films, and I've been lucky enough to jump on board a couple of years ago, and they've been really good to me. They keep bringing me back for another Christmas film. But yeah, so it'll premiere
December 16th.
December 16th.
Then the 22nd.
Okay. Oh yeah, you know better
and
than
the 24th. I know your entire schedule.
Yes,
really. Just
I love
leave it up to me, and people can call me, and I'll let them know when they can
use someone
see.
like you.
Yeah. I think you got one. But
yeah, that's true.
You kind of have a real history, if you will, doing holiday films, Christmas films. This is your third.
My third, for the last 3 years.
Now you've got, which one? That's also going to be sort of, it's running now,
yeah,
right? Christmas in Vermont.
A Christmas in Vermont. It started airing again on Ion Television, I believe, last Sunday. Mm-hmm. Actually, Up TV started airing it again last Sunday. 2 Sundays ago, I think we did A Christmas in Vermont. So it's airing on 2 networks this season. Up TV is Uplifting Television. So they're doing a whole bunch of airings of it, and then Ion will be re-airing it. And that's the one I did with Chevy Chase. So
what was it like working with him?
it was fun. I well, I was really lucky because when I signed on, I didn't know Chevy was on the film. No one knew Chevy was on the film.
Why? Was it like secret or he just didn't sign on yet?
They knew they wanted a name for this boss character, but they hadn't gotten the name yet. So I just signed on and was playing this really interesting kind of businesswoman, very successful businesswoman, and then shot some scenes not knowing, and then suddenly Chevy came on. So Chevy was a huge gift for me because my role got better and better because they're like, oh, Chevy's going to be on. Hey, shouldn't Meredith be Chevy's date to the holiday party? And shouldn't we tie this in? Shouldn't we make Chevy and Meredith's character be? So I was like, oh, thank you, Chevy Chase, for coming on this movie because suddenly Dana got much more elaborate because they wanted to use more of Chevy, so I just went on his coattails.
Love him, but I think that he signed on because of you.
You know, that's probably true. I've seen his wife, very similar, blonde. Yeah, it's probably true.
Donna?
Yeah, I think I saw her on set. I shouldn't say that. I also worked with his daughter, so
keep it all in the family.
Yeah.
Why not? What's the other one? You've got one.
Oh, I did one that aired last year on Lifetime called "The Ugly Christmas Sweater."
But that one's coming back, right? It's going to be reappearing on the Lifetime Movie Club, right?
Yeah. So if you're a Lifetime Movie Club member, you can watch it all season long. A Lifetime jumped into the short section. They did a bunch of short Christmas movies last year, and I was lucky enough to be the star. And I was not a very nice boss. I kind of combined both characters. I took the boss from Dana, Christmas in Vermont, and the boss from I'm noticing a pattern. I play a lot of bosses here. I play a lot of driven women. But that was she was not quite as much of a villain. She was just she was more driven than anything.
You say you play a lot of driven women, but you've got such a sweet, mom next door kind of face and smile about you. What are some other roles that you've played? You do. And what did I say? The first thing I said when I looked at you, I thought, wow, you look like my friend Vanna White. It's just amazing to me. So you just seem so lovely, but you can play it all,
I play a lot of. When I play moms, I don't play the sweet, nurturing moms always. I play moms that maybe are not necessarily the best TV moms. That maybe would give their kids frozen pizza so they could go out and hang with their girlfriends, or really love their wine.
So regular moms.
Yeah, real moms.
Real
right?
moms. No Donna Reed here.
Yeah, exactly. I like one of my Lifetime movies, which is one of my favorite roles. It was called The Wrong Crush, and I played a mother of a teenager who had been killed in a drunken accident and blamed her best friend for the incident. So I was a mom, but I was a pretty angry mom.
That's intense. I don't even know if I could play something like that. I would go to the set every day sort of feeling that heaviness. That's tough to do.
It may or may not help that I'm not a mom.
Yeah.
Because then as I can draw and imagine and pull from experiences of anger and death, but I'm not of my own.
Yeah.
So I don't take that heaviness home. Because I don't have an actual. I was a nanny for years, and
really?
So I
Where, out here?
Yeah, out here. I worked for a couple of actors.
Real. So you came out here from New Hampshire. That's where you're from.
Yes, and I got right out of a conservatory acting program through a friend of my aunt's. Met this amazing couple that were working actors, and I lived in their guest house in this lovely part of West Hollywood, and I helped with their kids, and we all went to our auditions, and we all arranged our schedules, and they became kind of like my second parents. Because I was a baby when I came to LA.
Yeah, because you did a year of college and said, "Mom, Dad, I really want to go try myself."
I had big stars in my eyes. I was like, I'd never even been. I'd never been to Los Angeles, and suddenly I'm like, I'm going.
Yeah, but that's sort of what it takes. I interview so many successful people, and many of us, we all have the same story, but the difference is you decided to go for it. You jumped at it. And a lot of people say, gee, I wish I had. And I said, well, go for it. Even if you're older, younger, whatever, just go. Get on the bus and come from New Hampshire. So what did you do? You told Mom and Dad, and then you just came here and What? Take acting lessons, go on auditions? How
Yeah,
does that work?
I mean, I did have a little bit of the safety net because I went from the University of New Hampshire right to an acting conservatory. So I did go to 2 years of school. But being in LA and having not, it didn't have it wasn't like I went to a traditional campus. So I went from a traditional New England college to a rundown elementary school in Pasadena that had a really lovely name and taught, name people to act. And my dad even saw the place. He flew out from Alaska and he saw the place and he's like, you can go home. Like I could see that but I was so determined. I actually forgot to pack socks and underwear, and that is the true story. I was so worried about all my outfits that it didn't even occur to me, So
Back then it was Robinson's May. Thank goodness for Robinson's May.
Oh yeah,
It was always a place to
I
find
was
your socks and
I was going to
underwear.
really date myself with another name of where I got my socks and underwear.
Where?
Oh my God, I was in Pasadena and there was a Woolworths still open.
Oh. Come on, everybody kind of remembers Woolworths. If you're like even over 30, you remember Woolworths.
I mean,
right?
there was
Gotta have so many Woolworth stories.
Do you
in my
remember
life.
when there was a Woolworths on the
Yeah.
promenade in
No,
Santa Monica?
No, for me it was New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
And now I'm gonna really go back. And my mom used to take me there because we would buy all sorts of little items in Woolworths, and they would always have the little, counter where you can get lunch.
I love 5 and dimes.
Right, but
Yeah.
I was a bad girl. So I was a little kid. If my mom was talking to the waitress, the little creamers. I must have had 20 of them. I'd open them up and I'd put them. And by the time they look at me, it's like, oh my God, what did she do? So it was my favorite thing to do. I'd go to Woolworths and open the little creamers and drink them. And there's my Woolworth story. So now you're taking me back.
Yeah. Oh, I miss the 5 and dimes. I mean, I was kind of the tail end of those, but I do remember.
Yeah.
In Portsmouth, New Hampshire, we had J.J. Newberry's. That must have been a New England thing.
Yeah, aren't they kind of the same thing, Woolworths and Newberry's?
Yeah,
or
they were
no?
very.
Like,
Yeah, they
the
were
same
very
genre,
similar.
right? And then I think they all sort of went by the wayside, and the Targets came up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
I right
kind of
about
the
that?
99-cent store is the only thing that's similar, except they don't have
They
it's
don't have
not,
the
they're
soda
not really
counter.
nostalgic. The soda counters but I
I'm
think
one of the rare people who goes to the 99-cent store and pays too much money, because I will look on the shelves and go, oh, I got to have that. Oh, that's really cool. And then instead of paying 99 cents for my, paper towels, I walk out of there with 2 carts full of stuff.
Oh yeah, it's dangerous. Like I regret that I get my prescriptions at Target because it's like I'm like that's the smartest thing to put a pharmacy in Target because now
Yeah.
I go in for my prescriptions and then I walk out with all this cute stuff.
Or worse yet, Costco. I can't go to these stores. I'm actually being very sincere. I can't do it.
I won't go to Costco.
Yeah.
It's too overwhelming.
Yeah. It's like I'm like a drug addict. I'll walk out with a television that I just don't need, Anyway, back to your acting. Yeah. So you came out here, you were a young girl, you were a nanny.
Mm-hmm.
What was your first big break?
I was in Pleasantville. Because I was a
Wow.
baby. So I was a teenager in Pleasantville. So, and that was cool. That was pretty awesome because it was a dream. I would drive to this fake town that they had built out in one of the parks in Malibu, out in the hills of Malibu.
Isn't that also where they did like Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman?
Yes, it may have been the same place.
I'm sorry to say, I'm not sure it did so well in the fires. I have to check on that. Isn't that awful? I have to really check on that. I read about some of the shooting facilities there, so I'm going to check on that one. But I know the area, and it's like as soon as you drive in, you're sort of transformed, right?
It was. I mean, here we were. I was, sitting there in makeup for hours to get into this classic 50s look. And there's these buildings, and I mean, you really closed your eyes and felt like that you were back in the 50s.
Isn't that the magic, really the cool thing about working in this business? So many ups, so many downs, but back to so many ups. Because you never really know where you're going to be tomorrow and where you're going to be shooting in 6 months. And it's really such a rich experience, isn't it?
It is. I meet so many people. I always say I kind of have this cafeteria style life. I have all of this in front of me, and then I can choose that, and then you kind of keep every shoot. You have someone really special that stays in your life.
Yeah.
And that was kind of growing up doing theater. It was the same way. You'd have this fast family, and then it would end, and some of those people you would never see again, but then a few you would hang on to and you'd keep on your tray for a long time.
You know, I'm the same way as an interviewer. I mean, I really become friendly with many, many of the people that I interview. You know, I'll take your cell and say, let's meet for coffee one day. And I do it. And the publicists I'm friendly with them. And it's the same thing. It's just sort of it's a big family.
Yeah, people act like networking is such a dirty word, but it's really just relationship building. Like when you find someone along the way that you have something in common with.
Just keep it.
Yeah.
Just keep it. You know, and that's why you're still working. So, okay, you went from that, and then how did the rest of your career evolve?
Slowly.
Really?
Yeah.
And what's that like? What did you do in the meantime?
Oh my goodness! Back years ago, I'm actually in a book called about survival jobs because
What'd you do?
I was
What'd you
a
do?
terrible waitress. So half
me
of
about
my
it.
success, I swear, is because I was not a good waitress.
Yep.
Because I had to come up with other things to keep me auditioning because I was not going to make a living as wait. I was not good at that.
I was never good at that either.
No,
I would drop stuff. And
I would did the pace, and I would serve someone like a frozen drink, and there'd be a piece of the spatula in it. I swear, I was just I was just not good at that stress. I'm great at certain stresses, things I love, but I did not want to be there. So
that's why you became a star.
I failed at Mary Kay.
Who could do that?
I was a very successful nanny. Those kids are brilliant, and I was there for their formative years. So I will take a tiny bit of credit from Jack and Ellie Bensinger. They are brilliant kids, and I didn't mess them up with all my craziness that I was.
Isn't
in
that
my
great?
20s.
So clearly you're still in touch with them.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, Ellie is an actress now.
Oh,
I always tease her. I'm
great.
she's So she's a really talented actress.
Oh, we should have brought her in, all in the family. That would have been
At
great.
some point we will. And Jack is a successful baseball. He played baseball in college. Very talented kid. So I was successful at nannying. I failed at Mary Kay. I did a lot of pet sitting, house sitting. Oh. Even my publicist does not know this about me. You're going to get
Breaking news.
Major
Breaking
secret
news for
about me.
Meredith. What is it?
He's
nervous.
I had this crazy girlfriend that suggested that, and this is years ago, but that we should be bi-coastal. We should audition in New York, which that was a great idea. We should be able to audition in New York and in LA. And the way we should do that is that we should work for the airlines, because she had people that used to work for the airlines in her family. So she said that we should toss bags at the airlines.
You were a bag handler? You don't look big enough to be a bag handler.
I wasn't. Imagine me 20 years ago. I was scrawny. I was a little scrawny girl tossing bags at the airlines because I wanted to be bi-coastal. You should have seen at my interviews. They said, "Don't you want to be a flight attendant? Don't you want to do?" I said, "No. I can't be stuck in the air."
No, because then you're serving food again. We already know you can't do that.
I'm not good at customer service. Just throw me with the bags. But the men, I was one of the very few women on the ramp. The men gave me such a hard time. They would speed up the ramp. The bags would come down. I would be falling over myself. That's the only other time other than waitressing that I was terrible at something. And the thing, I want to be good at things. And so I stuck it out until I got one free ticket. My crazy girlfriend, who, by the way, never took a job. I took the job, stuck to my goal. We flew across the country to go to a thing to meet up with Prince Albert. See, I've got story. I wait till my memoirs come out.
Well, in this business, everybody has these stories. I get it.
Prince Albert
Let's
of
go
Monaco.
back to Prince Albert.
My publicist is giving me this little this eye right now. Prince Albert of Monaco.
Did you date him? What happened?
I did not date him. The crazy friend did. I'm telling way too much information, but I'm not naming names other than Prince Albert of Monaco. I stayed at the Palace apartment. I went to Monaco, stayed at the Palace apartment one Christmas.
Girl, you came a long way from hurling bags for the airlines. Yeah. That ticket got you somewhere. Yeah. Wow.
We didn't tell Prince Albert that we had flown across the country on a free ticket, and that we were staying at the YMCA so that we could go to this huge charity event in honor of his mother, who we actually had graduated from her same alma mater. We went to the American Academy.
Wow.
Oh, it was all
Let me just say, though, is this not the life of an actor, especially an actor in the beginning years? You know,
Sure.
you just sort of take advantage of what comes your way. You do crazy jobs when you're not even sure what the heck you're doing, throwing bags around, waiting tables badly, and then somehow all of that, I don't know, it's part of your character, right? And you bring a little piece of that nuttiness with you on the set, don't you think?
Yeah, that life experience. I mean, I have lots of experiences of not doing, of being, I mean, actors' life is a life of rejection. So
it really is.
I mean, I don't want to call them failures, but I mean, when you think about it, every time I don't get a job, I could look at that as I failed in some way. Or
it's very difficult. I tried it very, very briefly while I was in college and I was back east, and I thought, forget it. I mean, I could barely even handle, 1-2 pieces of rejection. I thought, that's it, never mind. So I decided to go into journalism, which worked out just fine. But it's a hard life. You have to be real good at it. Got a little bit of luck in there, but that luck, I think, only comes along when you put yourself in the right spot.
When you're ready for it, yeah, because there's a lot of opportunities that can come your way, and if you're not ready, Hollywood has a pretty good memory.
What's your favorite role?
Oh, my favorite role is I don't want to talk about it too much because I'm trying to produce it as a feature film.
Oh, tell us a little nugget.
Okay. It is a story set in the 40s, and it's based on a real person that lived in LA in the 40s, and it is very, very timely with what is going on politically in our country right now, even though it's set in the 40s. So if you think about what was going on in the 1940s, we were just at this time we were about to go to war. The Nazis were, rising in Germany, and it's about this dark kind of secret in Los Angeles. And I play this anti-heroine that has one of the best shifts that I've ever seen written for a character, a change.
So when can we see this?
Well, I have a lot of work to do with getting it produced, so that I will certainly come back, and hopefully in not too long, and hopefully before the next election, because I'm hoping for a big shift there. So I think it's really timely.
It's very timely
right now. Yeah.
Favorite actor, actress that you've played opposite?
Oh my goodness.
Don't you love these?
It would have
Who's
to
this?
be.
Who's that?
It would have to be Jessica Lange.
Oh,
I did a very. I played.
You kind of look
I
like
played
her
a reporter, on Feud, and I love that one. I like Vanna White too. I think Vanna has brown eyes too, doesn't she? Or
yes, she
Hazel?
does. Yeah, you're kind of a cross between Vanna White and Jessica Lange. I mean, big time compliments
I
here.
love the young Jessica Lange. Yeah, and then I think I got a little Meryl Streep in the nose. I'm hoping I'll have a piece of her
everything,
somewhere.
And then you took a little from each of them too in your acting. So that's really something.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. I appreciate that.
So Jessica Lange was one of your favorite actors to play with, play opposite.
And then because throughout my career, people have said you look like young Jessica Lange, and then to actually be standing across from her was amazing.
Yeah, I see that too. Wow. So also you work with, you put on, help me out.
I did.
FYC Independence.
Right.
What is that? I was so enthralled that you do this for actors who generally don't get a lot of recognition for what they do. It's pretty incredible. Tell me about it.
So with the Television Academy, who present the Emmy Awards every year, there is a season, we call it FYC season, that stands for your consideration. Mm-hmm. And basically what happens is the studios, with their studio money, they wine and dine us Academy members for our votes. Now, yes, we watch the screenings. We get to see maybe things that we didn't watch at home. So we'll go out to a screening of a TV show or a TV movie.
You're talking about Screen Actors Guild members, right?
No, I'm talking about the Television Academy, which is the Television Academy. So Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah, because I was going to say, nobody wines and dines me. I get the films, I watch them in my own home, but nobody's asking me out for wine and cheese.
They might wine and dine you if you got on the SAG nominating. One year, if you get on the SAG nominating committee, you might get a little bit more.
Turf?
It's random. It's computerized.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
So
yeah.
those you'll probably get a little bit, but for the Television Academy, which we get, I mean, seriously, I'm surprised I don't gain 50 pounds every FYC season because they wine and dine you and they put on these extravagant events with swag and the stars of the show there with question and answers. Well, so that's a big part of how Emmy can be won. So I'm a baby at the Television Academy. I've only been at it a few years. So I did my first FYC season with A Christmas in Vermont. And so I was like, this is a movie with Chevy Chase. Let's throw it out there. Let's just see if I can get a little bit of attention. So I got to see how an underdog, which is what I called my Facebook group, FYC Underdogs.
Okay.
How an underdog could actually get their peers in the Television Academy to see their work and actually really have a shot at being considered for an Emmy when the studios are throwing all this money for these huge events. So in a month time this year, I said to myself, I'm going to do my own. And I'm going to invite some people that I know and see if they want to do it with me. And so in under a month, I did something that hasn't been done in 75 years. I screened 35 clips of people without studio backing and studio money at an event. And from that, there were 4 Emmy nominations.
That is fantastic. I really that's got to be one of your greatest accomplishments in this business, really.
I did not go into it thinking that it would be. And it sounds a little cliched and trite, but the attention and the appreciation that I got from that, I mean, I did it. I wasn't totally selfless that I did it. I had 4 things on the ballot this last year. I didn't realistically necessarily expect a nomination, but I did everything I could to help that process along. But getting 4 actors
That's phenomenal.
nominations, it was like it's the best thing I did this past year.
So is this going to be something that's ongoing that you do every year?
I've told everyone I'm in for the next 75 years.
Wow! So you're the exec producer. Of this.
Yeah. It just, I mean, it was.
Wow.
It was literally me saying, here, I have this list of some of my peers at the Television Academy. I have friends on Facebook that I've met in my year and a half with the Television Academy, or 2 years. Why don't I just create a Facebook group and this list, which came out of an event that Turk, my publicist, was at. And I have to give credit where credit due. Another gal did the phone list. I just took it and created the Facebook page and created the event. So I thought maybe 5 or 6 people would be like, sure, Meredith. I am the leading knight of the Van Nuys Reseda Elks Lodge, so I have this fantastic venue.
Wait a minute. She's this lady is the leading knight at the Sherman Oaks.
Van Nuys Reseda.
Van Nuys, Elks Lodge.
Yes,
Can I go one day with you to one of these? Because that's like such a cool thing. That's the kind of stuff that we would do back in New Jersey.
Well,
go to the Elks Lodge.
It's funny because no one in my family has ever been in a fraternal organization. I came to this like I come to everything in my life kind of just by mistake. Oh, like that might be a good idea. And I shot a whole bunch of projects at the lodge, and then I joined, and then now I'm second in command of an organization that didn't allow women until the 90s.
Right, and now you're spearheading this entire wow.
Yeah, it's been awesome. So I had this venue, and I was like, I got a barn. Let's put on a show. 35 clips later, I turned away. I didn't turn away anyone. I turned away one woman, and that's because she reached out to me the day of. Everyone else I found room for in this event.
So how can people find out about that or give submissions to you?
Oh, so just find me any of my social media, which is at Meredith Actress, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
At Meredith
Actress. From there, I'll lead you in the direction. If you are a Television Academy member, I will add you to my FYC Underdogs group, and then you'll get all the information when we start the ball rolling this year.
That is so incredible. So, and in the meantime, upcoming on December 16th, we've got A Christmas in Royal Fashion on the ION network, right? Mm-hmm. That's just incredible. And anything else you could tell us that you're working on ahead of this?
Yeah, a couple of cool things I have in the works for next year, other than producing year 2 of FYC Independence. I'm working on a web series, and it is about a family being ripped apart by social media. A mother who's on the verge of divorce, a mother who can't connect with her daughter because the obsession with her husband's obsession with his phone, her daughter's obsession with their phone, and it's actually a really touching story of how we're losing our human connection.
We definitely are. And a lot of people will say, oh, but I need it for business. I even talked to publicists about it. I'm like, are you doing this? They said, you know what? I don't really need it. My husband is a really successful guy on the radio. He goes, Deborah, I don't really need it. And we argue about it a little bit. I'm like, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. No, you don't. And then my own kids are sort of taking a back seat. They're like, we're tired of it. So hopefully that there's going to be an evolution away from it. I hope so. It's really knocked a lot of people and families on their side. That's going to be great.
Yeah,
That's
I'm excited.
Really
I'm excited about that.
Wow. So we're going to look forward to that too. What else?
And I just found out on Monday that I have a project that I'm in is going to Sundance this year. Yay!
What is it?
It is called Quarter Life Poetry.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's so I'm really excited. I just found out about that. So
What's it about?
it is about a millennial gal and her kind of struggles in being young. I think she says young, hangry, like hungry and angry in the world. And it's just about being kind of in that 25-year age and maneuvering life in the world. And I play, surprise, surprise, I play her boss.
Yay. A nasty one or a nice one?
A
this time?
nasty one.
Another nasty boss.
Another nasty boss.
That's what you're going to be remembered for.
I guess
the
so.
nasty boss lady.
That's all right.
Anyway, it was such a delight to have you.
Thank you for having
I'm so
me.
excited to watch your Christmas shows. I really, really am, and I'm looking forward to your latest one, A Christmas in Royal Fashion, and also congratulations on Sundance.
Thank you.
And everything else you're doing. Anything you want to add, promote, tell everybody out there?
No, I think we're good. I
Yeah.
think just happy holidays.
Yeah, I feel really grateful that, where we're going, I think, probably to Italy to meet some relatives of my family that we never even knew existed. And I've been reaching out. We are an insane family. I have 3 boys and a husband, and sometimes we will plan a trip with a week or two notice. And most people are like, are you insane? But guess what? You can actually find flights sometimes super last minute.
Yeah.
So we thought, how fun would it be to go to Italy and spend Christmas there? And just last night, one of the relatives that I don't know wrote back and said, we are all waiting for you. And I thought, oh, what a cool Christmas that would be. So I'm trying to pull that together.
Did you find them through DNA tests?
No, I did not. I just always knew they were out there. And my parents recently died a couple of years ago, and it's really had an effect on me. We're very, very close. And I just wanted, for all the times I've been to Italy, I've never been to their home village. And I thought, let me go. So that's what I think we're doing. I'm really excited about it.
Oh, my goodness.
So have a wonderful Christmas. And I do hope that, we continue our dialogue. You'll become part of my coffee club. So, or wine, whatever one you like.
Coffee.
Merry Christmas. Thank you for being here, and you're really a delight.
Thank you so much.
Anyway, everybody, thank you for being here for another fun edition of Deborah Kobylt Live. We'll see you next time.